Hey! Greetings and welcome to another episode of Trippy Food. Today we are on a road trip and we are going to check out California's Central Coast. So, atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed, let's move out. Hey! Remember me? Right now, we're off an exit on Route 101 where there's a lot of excitement happening probably within a few miles of each other. Right now we're in Buellton, and our first stop off this exit is the original Pea Soup Andersen's. This is the one that was built in 1924. If you remember one of our previous episodes, we visited the one out in Santanel. This one's a little bit different than the other one in that there's a little history museum upstairs. You can see old cans of pea soup. At this one you can still have their famous pea soup, but this one is a little bit different in that it doesn't have a windmill on the location. The windmill is across the street for some strange reason. But we're going to head up to Solvang and we're going to see a lot more windmills up there. Okay, we're still on our way to Solvang, but we decided we were going to take a detour and we ended up at Ostrichland. And Ostrichland is in Buellton, and Ostrichland is famous from the movie Sideways. So a lot of the things in the area here, a lot of the wineries, became famous because of the movie Sideways, and they stopped in a lot of places. And you can download maps, you can take tours and see all the places that were featured in the movie. But this is just kind of a fun place to go. It's about $5 to get in, and for $1 you get a little tray and you can feed the ostriches. You have to hold onto that tray tight because they'll just grab that away from you and take off with it. But it's fun. They have some emus here as well. Okay, they keep the emus separately, and I'm over by the emu pen, and I fully expect that just standing here, they're going to be pulling at my shirt because I like to bite at everything. I like to test everything. But they're just feeding. They're just having a good time. Okay, well, the highest concentration of them seem to be right here, so we're going to go ahead and feed them. And I think the trick is you're going to really hold on to that tray because they'll just grab the whole thing. They'll just take off with it, and we don't want that to happen. So, hey, wait your turn. All right, fine, go ahead. Good? What do you think? Need salt? This one's a female. They're usually milder. Hey guys, dinner time.
You have to feed them all.
Come and get it.
These are the big ones. No, you can't touch it.
There you go.
The babies. Let's feed the babies. Yeah.
Now it's a meal. Come on, ladies. Dig in. There you go. That's it. I guess the food's greener on the other side of the hill. Okay, we finally made it. We're in the village of Solvang, California. And Solvang, California was founded in 1911 by two Danish educators, and they convinced people from Denmark to come over here and settle. Now at the time, it just looked like any other California town in 1911, but as a result of a Saturday Evening Post article in the 1940s, more and more tourists started coming into the area. So they started developing the buildings to look more like buildings in Denmark, and now it's every building kind of has this appearance of something from Denmark, but it looks vastly different than it did all the way up to the 1940s. Right now we're in the park in the central part of town. There's a statue of Hans Christian Andersen, which is really large, as opposed to that statue of the Little Mermaid that they have here, which is really small. There's also a rock here. It's dated from the 900s, but I'm not sure exactly what it was. Obviously, it wasn't made in the 900s. It's a nice little quiet park where you can sit and you can relax after you've stuffed your face at Smorgasbord. Ooh, which reminds me, we should check that out. Well, with all that walking around, I worked myself up an appetite, so I ended up here at the Red Viking. The Red Viking's been here over 40 years. A lot of people can't remember how long, but it's been here over 40 years. And their special is the smorgasbord. So they have a lot of Danish specialties on the smorgasbord, and it's just all you can eat. Just go up to the bar. They have all kinds of stuff, and so we just decided to get a nice random sampling. Now, these meatballs you'll probably recognize. These are actually Swedish meatballs, but these are Danish meatballs, which kind of look like sliced sausages, which is really strange. Apparently a lot of people make sandwiches out of that. We do have the bread, we could do that, but I think we're just going to try them like that. We have a cauliflower with a curry mayonnaise on it. There's two kinds of herring. There's a pickled dill herring, and then there's one with a mustard cream sauce. Everything here is traditional. There is a carrot and pea salad, pickled cabbage, of course the Swedish meatballs, pickles, and a liver pate. So this looks awesome, and I'm not sure where to start. I think I'm going to start with the herring. So I'm going to try the plain herring first. That's good. It's like butter. I mean, it definitely tastes like the vinegar, the brine, but it's not like a really strong fishy taste. It's really kind of light for a fish. It was really buttery and creamy. That's really good. Now let's try the one in mustard sauce. Same flavor underneath, but just a little bit more tartness. Really good. Now, Swedish meatballs are typically baked, and it's typically a blend of pork and beef. I assume that these are the same. Sauce makes a big difference. Exceptional. I'm really curious about these Danish meatballs, though. And again, I could make a sandwich, but I think we're just going to eat them as is. I like to think of that. It's kind of like a dry meatloaf. That's really good. Now the cauliflower, and again, it has a curry mayo sauce on it. There's a huge head of it over there. You just cut off a piece of that. And it's cooked. It's really good. So I think maybe let's try the pate. And I think I'm going to put some on the bread. And there's a selection of Danish breads here. We're going to try the pate on the bread. It looks like there's some onion straws there as well. We'll put some of those on there. And a pickle, because that's how we found it. Let's try that. Now, bread is interesting because it's really dense and crumbly, and even a little bit sweet. The liver's not too off-putting, not too strong. It's really smooth. The pickle and the onion kind of smooth that out. And that's really nice. Now, that's carrots and peas. And I imagine we're going to eat more of this pickled cabbage with the meatballs. Yeah, and that's not really strong pickly taste either. But it's really good. And it's even a little bit sweet. So I'm not sure how it's made, but anyways, we're going to finish this plate. And we're actually going to go back for more. So I won't let you sit there and watch me eat. I'm going to enjoy this. And then maybe we'll find dessert somewhere. Give me 1 second. I had to make a phone call. Well, I happened to be walking down Copenhagen Street and I passed Solvang restaurant. And Solvang restaurant makes abelskivers in the window. Now, if you remember, abelskivers are the Danish pancake balls. And so they're made right in the window there. Just order them. You don't even have to go to the restaurant and sit down. So just eat them, take them for a walk, and enjoy. They got some lingonberry jelly on it, some powdered sugar, and a lot bigger than I remember too. Let's give this a shot. This came right off the grill. Wow, that's a mouthful. You can also get their Danish sausage at the window, but sometimes you come here, there's a long line of people waiting. Oh. Those are so good. I can't say they taste like pancakes, but they're sweet, but they're not overly sweet. You know, unless you put a lot of the jam on there. Those are really good. So I'm going to finish these. Do a little bit more walking. This yellow and red building behind me is one of the oldest buildings left in Solvang. So this was originally built in 1911. It wasn't originally a restaurant, but in the 1960s it was renovated to look more Danish, and Bit of Denmark, which is a restaurant that's currently in there, has been there since. Well, I decided to stop at the Solvang Brewing Company because, what the hell, it's a beer company that has their own windmill. And I tried to see if they had any traditional Danish ales, and they have one called the Dansk Amber, so that's what I got. The other ones have Danish names, but not necessarily Danish. So, cheers. Oh, that's nice. Sweet. Oh yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. Well, it appears that I can't get out of this town. I'm walking down the street and I see Olsen's Bakery. It looks so legit, I decided to go in and I'm gonna get some pastry and coffee. So I asked them, well, what is indicative of Danish culture? What pastry should I get that's true Danish, that really just says Danish? And so he suggested these. So these two here are a little bit different. One is almond, I can't recall what the other one is, but he said these are typically parts of a Danish wedding cake. And then this is a marzipan log, and it looks like it's covered with chocolate. And then we got a cup of coffee to go with it, because you can't have pastry without coffee, right? So let's try this one first. That looks pretty solid. Now, I thought this was going to be like a biscotti, and it's actually chewy inside. It's like the texture of a macaroon. And, oh, wow, really, really strong almond taste. That's really nice. Now, I'm guessing this one might be a little bit more like biscotti. Let's try this.
So you tell you have a good cappuccino?
Inside, almost identical, same texture. And also, really, really strong almond taste, but there's little bits of almond on the outside of it. So that's not surprising. So when you consider that I'm doing this and a marzipan log, that's an overdose of almond right there. Oh wow, not at all what I expected. It was kind of chewy on the inside, like cake. Chocolate, almond flavor. Wow, really nice. Good choice. So I'm going to finish my pastries and then head on down the road. Okay, so here's the weird part. So over there across the street, it looks like a little Copenhagen village. Over here is the Mission Santa Ynez, and this was built in 1804. So this is one of the original Spanish missions, which is really kind of strange, but all up and down the California coast, especially off Route 101, you'll find all the Spanish missions. And some of them are still operating as Catholic churches, and other ones are run by the state, kind of give you an idea of how they're run, but it's just really kind of odd. And again, it's Santa Ynez because this whole area is known as Santa Ynez. And the Santa Ynez Valley is a large producer of grapes for wine and also for olives. So you see a lot of the shops here that are selling wine and grapes from the Santa Ynez Valley and everything, but it's like you just cross the street and you're in Denmark. We're now at La Purissima Mission. This is now a state park. This is no longer owned by the Catholic Church, and it's not run as a church. They don't have services here and everything. The beauty of this particular mission is that it's in the middle of a clearing, in the middle of nowhere, so you don't see traffic going by, you don't see modern buildings, and it kind of takes you back to when the mission was built in the early 1800s. They also don't pull any punches as far as what the treatment of the Chumash Indians, who were the local indigenous people at the time. And they pretty much have it restored so that it looks like they have the farming area and they have the workshop areas that they would have had back in the early 1800s. Right now we're standing behind the bell tower, so to ring those bells, somebody would have walked up those stairs right there, up into the tower, and rang the bells up at the top. This is the inside of the church. And as you can see, there's no pews here because this isn't an active church. But you can tell how simple it is. Most of the stuff is painted on the walls. There's not a lot of decorations and not a lot of fancy paintings and gold. It's very, very simple. Again, built by the indigenous peoples. And it was in ruins, but it was restored back in the early 1900s and the 1930s. But this is very similar to how they would have celebrated Mass at the time. This is the kitchen area, and it looks pretty small for the amount of people that would have been in the mission at the time. But there's ovens outside, so I imagine the combination of cooking out there and cooking in here. This is the weaving shop, and it looks here like maybe this was the busiest place. This is a kiln adjacent to the pottery shop, and it looks like they're making tiles for the roof. It's a pretty big pottery shop for just making roof tiles, but I imagine they made dishes and floor tiles as well. I got to admit, this toilet looks fancier than some rest stops on Route 101. This is a fancy dining area. You still can't believe that little kitchen made the food for this whole mission. These fountains behind me in this olive grove provided the water for the mission, and they basically were fed by springs. And these olive trees have been dated back to the time of the mission, so they were actually planted at the time the mission was built. If you're only going to visit one of the California missions, I highly recommend this one because it kind of gives you a feel of what was life living in the mission under Spanish rule. Definitely check this one out. Right now we're in the small village of Arroyo Grande. For you white folk, that's Big Creek. And we're here to see the swinging bridge. Now the swinging bridge was originally built in 1875. It was restored in 1995. And we're going to take a walk over there and try to find out why it's called the swinging bridge. Pismo Beach? That's funny. This doesn't look like Pismo Beach. Well, we are at Pismo Beach, and Pismo Beach is famous for its clams. It's Pismo Clams. And behind me is one of three of what's billed as the world's largest clams. Now, I don't think it's the world's largest clam. I think the giant water-spitting razor clam in Long Beach, Washington probably has this one beat, but it's a big clam. And every year, depending on what holiday is, they dress it up. This one's obviously dressed up for Easter. When the butterflies are migrating, they usually paint it like a monarch butterfly. So we're gonna check out the other two, see what else is in Pismo Beach. Check it out. Well, I found another one. This one's downtown, and you can get nice and up close to this one so you can see how big this thing really is. This one's painted differently. It's advertising a bike race here in Pismo Beach. Well, lucky me, I found a Hot Licks. And I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with Hot Licks, but Hot Licks are the people who make the larvettes and the crickets, which are basically the flavored insects, the flavored and cooked insects. So they don't do them here at this location, but they do them locally, and they ship all over the world. So we're gonna go in and we're gonna see some of the local stuff, some of the stuff that they have here, and get something to snack on. Hey, tequila flavored candy, but I'm gonna go right for the scorpion, I think. Now, they don't just raise and sell insects to eat, they also make their own candy. So they have saltwater taffy, which is perfect for a seaside place like this. And they also do their own chocolate. Right now, they have a production line going where they're making caramel apples and chocolate dipped strawberries, but we have our little snack here. So we got our desert scorpion. I'm sorry, our dessert scorpion. So it looks like desert, but it's two S's, so it's a dessert scorpion. And we are going to eat our dessert scorpion and find out exactly what a dessert scorpion is. It's a very nice package. I think we're gonna save this. Ooh, look at that. The guest of honor at our special dessert. Let's give this a try. Now, scorpion covered in chocolate is a little bit weird, only because scorpion, to me, kind of reminds me more of like, I don't know, a shrimp or a lobster, but we're gonna try this. Well, they broke apart a little bit, but not enough to not eat. Okay, let's try this sucker. I'm gonna go with the tail first. It's good chocolate. A lot of times, chocolate dipped insects, chocolate's not that good. This is good chocolate. It's crunchy, it's really nice. Like a Nussie's Crunch Bar. It's actually pretty tasty. All right, that'll keep me going till lunch. We're now in San Luis Obispo, and we are at the world famous Madonna Inn. Now, Madonna Inn was started by Alex Madonna back in the 1950s. It's actually the guy's name. And as we walk around, you're gonna see there's a lot of pink in here. It's because pink was his favorite color for his wife to wear, so a lot of things ended up kind of pink. But it's kind of sprawling. There's a lot of rooms here. The availability is tough. Right now it's completely sold out, so we can't really actually get into some of the rooms, but we'll try to show them to you anyways. And then there's a lot of other unique and unusual features about this place that's like right off 101. So we're gonna go inside and check it out. There's 110 rooms altogether, and it may be difficult to pick because they're so eclectic. Everyone is completely differently designed. So what you can do is they have a rack of cards here, and you can kind of look through here to see which room you want. So for instance, you want the Harvard Square room, you want the famous caveman room, you can get that as well. These kind of give you an idea how the rooms are decorated. So after registration, the first room you come to is the wine cellar, or the area you come to is the wine cellar. And the wine cellar is worth checking out too. So we're gonna go down there and see what a wine cellar looks like. So we're down in the lower level by the wine room, and there's a lot of wine for sale down here, but there's also this nifty little cave, and I'm not sure exactly what it originally used to be for. There's gumballs in it right now. I'm guessing it probably used to be a phone booth. There's a nice little thing here for a phone, if you were to put one on there. Otherwise, it's just a little place to sit and hear your own voice. So believe it or not, we're in the restroom right now, and this is because this is where their pride and joy is. They actually let women come into the restroom just to see this. Now, if you look at these stones, and all the stones all over the property, they were all gathered locally. But this is their pride and joy, and this is their urinal. And I'll show you why it's their pride and joy, because if you go to do your business here, it turns into Niagara Falls. And Niagara Falls. Cool, huh? So if you're waiting for a table in the restaurant, this is the place to wait. This is where like Fred Flintstone is. He's here by this magnificent stone chimney. And again, all local. Well, it looks like we caught the restaurant at a quiet time, but you can imagine what it'd be like eating in here in these nice pink plush boots. Again, you know, pink, his favorite color for his wife. But it's just such a cute, adorable, amazing little place. Of course, you can always eat in the coffee shop. Seems like they're pretty busy in there. Back outside, we're going to check out the secret garden, which, if you think about it, it's not really much of a secret because they have a sign and they tell you where it is. Looks like someone's setting up for a wedding in the secret garden. Here's where the rooms are, and I think the outside is probably as eclectic as the inside. So I worked myself up an appetite, and I ended up here at F. McLintock in San Luis Obispo. They've been around since the 1970s. Now this is one of 4 locations in the area, but their specialty, and from what they say, they've been doing since the beginning, are turkey nuts, which are turkey testicles. And these look really, really nice. Better than what I could make, so I'm going to give these a try.
I'm so sorry.
Nice and golden brown. Oh yeah, yeah, those are really good. They're tender on the inside, and undercooked. They're not chewy. There's kind of a light crust on the outside. They're not greasy. They're really good. I don't know. Maybe this won't be enough. sneeze, maybe think about heading back. So strangely, right across the street from F. McLintock is Gum Alley. And I'm sure this is like the one in Seattle where they're constantly cleaning it out and they're constantly putting gum back on it. So this is like all over the ground as well. I'm probably getting gum all over my shoes, but it's worth a walk through Gum Alley, don't you think? We've been to a lot of places, but we just scratched the surface of California's Central Coast. There's so many more things to see. There's Nitwit Ridge in Cambria, there's in San Simeon with Hearst Castle and the Elephant Seal Rookery, there's Santa Barbara. So much more to see. You probably need about a week to see it all. So my advice is get out here, get out by plane or whatever, get in a car and just drive up Route 101 and the Pacific Coast Highway, which is California 1. And just see it, man. Get out here and see it, because it's not going to see itself. Get on the road, get out here, see this stuff. We'll see you soon. Thanks for checking out Trippy Food. If you enjoyed watching that video half as much as I did making it, well then I enjoyed it twice as much as you did. And if that's the case, you'll probably like this video right here. And if not, check out this video right here. That one's a little bit different. Either way, leave a comment down below. And be sure to subscribe by clicking on the Trippy Food icon right here. Glad you could make it, and we hope to see you again soon.